visualization, it's all about the visualization. That's why when you can have some kind of visual prompt, like your affirmations, your vision board, your mind movie beforehand, it's going to be really helpful in helping you to go there in your mind. And, you know, rather than seeing yourself as a character in a movie, so it's like, rather than seeing yourself like you're on a movie screen, you want to immerse yourself in one moment that you are going to experience when you reach this goal. And you want to elicit all of your senses and make it as real as possible. Because when you do that, your subconscious mind is honestly, it can't tell the difference between what we're perceiving through our eyes and what we are playing as this very vivid, visceral moment in our mind. And the more often that we do that, the more it starts to think, oh, wait a minute, this is my reality. Okay. And then we start to create those new neural pathways, and we start to create these new thoughts that are in alignment with this. You know, think about just one moment, one thing. It could be, you know, walking into the bank and, you know, handing over a check, which is the last payment on your mortgage. It could be, you know, being in some kind of romantic location with a partner. It could be, you know, traveling somewhere with your family. You know, a prime example of this is when I was working with Dr. Joe, because this is how he would teach people to do their visualizations. We had a woman who was in the program, this is in Australia actually, and her and her husband had been struggling financially, and so they put their house on the market so they could clear some of their debt. Now, it had been on the market for a month, and they hadn't had any offers. So while she's at this Dr. Joe event, she knows exactly what she's going to be visualizing. So she goes into the process. She sees herself in her living room. She feels herself sitting on the couch. She can feel the pen in her hand, and she's signing the contract. She can smell the real estate agent's aftershave. And then she can feel the bubbles on her nose as she's taking a sip of champagne because they're celebrating, because, you know, they've now finally sold the home. So the emotion that she's feeling in that time is just relief. You know, anyway, she goes back to her room that evening. She's got a text from her husband. He's like, call me. So she calls her and he goes, we just got an offer on the house. He goes, it's not what we wanted, but I think we should take it. And she goes, no, just hold on. So we do the process again the next day. This time she sees the amount on the top of the contract of what she wanted. And 3 days later, they got an offer for that amount. So it's amazing how when you can really create something that vivid and that clear, how you can be resonating and influence, be coherent with the unified field so that you're able to attract everything that you need to make that happen. So the more that you can do that, the better that is. And you don't necessarily need to be sitting down with your eyes closed to be able to do that. Maybe the first couple of times you do that, but then after that, because you already have this movie, you've already created it, you could be vacuuming the house, you could be driving the car, you could be doing anything and just going off on this little mental vacation in your mind into the future that you're creating, because the more often we do that, like I said before, we create those neural pathways. And by doing it regularly and seeing yourself and feeling what it's like to already be there, it builds two very important ingredients when it comes to creating the outcomes that we want. The first one is belief, and the second one is expectation. When we can truly believe that this can happen for us, and the thing is, when we keep seeing it every day in our mind, of course we believe it because we can see it already happening. But then we get to this place where when things start to show up all the time, we just start to expect it. Because we now know we're just applying the laws of the universe. And when you do that, things will always show up. So, you know, you get to expect that. And when you can be, and belief and expectation is also part of that surrender piece. Because when you're in belief and expectation, you trust that everything that you need is going to come to you as well. So, yeah. So I would try and, you know, and think about all of your senses. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you touching, tasting, smelling? All of that. And make it feel like you are actually in that moment.